Thank you.
He covered it. There's no reason we can't have traffic go another block and then come around and have to go through those areas.
Couple points. First, I'd like to point out that these trees belong to all of us. They don't belong to the city council or the planning commission or anybody. They belong to us, and we pay the city to take care of them for us. To destroy our property without a majority of voters' approval is a terrible abuse of power. The other thing I want to say is, if these trees get cut, I will never shop in downtown Santa Rosa again, and everybody I know has agreed with that. Cut the trees, we'll shop someplace else. Sebastopol is nice, Petaluma is nice, Vernville's nice. We want our trees. And to take two pedestrian walkways that are used a lot and turn them into streets with parking is not my idea of a user-friendly plaza. I don't like any of the ideas that we put forward. I think the plaza as we have it is beautiful. I think it's the most beautiful downtown plaza I have ever seen anywhere. And I oppose any changes, and especially any changes that require taking out trees.
I went to the...
Speak loud. Loud.
Okay,
Sing
so
it out.
I was at the first meeting, and I want to say, I don't want to just say negative stuff. That isn't the most productive. I want to thank the new design, at least to go into single lane traffic. I like that a lot better. And I like the fact I saw a majority of the trees were going to get saved. I like that. And what I don't like is this lighting thing and the fear base that we need safety. We are one of the safest communities in the United States of America. Don't run that crap.
Points. Parking is about the same. It's 4 blocks around the square. It's about the same as the parking on 1 block of 4th Street. So it's very, very low density. Secondly, we're talking about 30 redwood trees in the square. And we're talking about taking out either 8 or 11. And we're putting in many, many more trees. The carbon footprint will be much less when this project is done. The impervious area is going to be reduced probably 60, 70%. It's going to be mostly pervious, absorptive, and also they're types of grass which do not require watering.
Yes. Okay. I was trying to speak.
Okay, I just got a couple points to make. The timeline is very crunched. You're trying to get to an opening in December. I think the city council was something that they wanted. Okay, I'm an engineering project manager, and I looked at this project, and it's going to take 9 to 12 months just to get the stamped approval plans. And you guys are going to try to do it in 5 months. So that's going to end up with a lot of errors, change order after change order, price goes up, timeline goes out, and then you're going to try to install it from June and get it done in another 5 months.
Of this plan with the streets on both sides and the sewer and water lines that need to be rehabilitated underneath those streets was at 40% design for the previous plan that had different features on the surface. So it isn't like we're starting with a blank sheet on the design. The design was pretty far along. We're adding to that to bring it to final plan to get out to bid at the end of February, and we are on track to do that. As an example, we built the Santa Rosa Avenue widening project, which was much more complex from a basic infrastructure standpoint in one construction season. I'm confident we can build this project in one construction season. Okay, thank you.
Blue, that's me. Okay, I just, yesterday we just went up into Casadero and started planting 1,300 redwood trees. And
where they belong.
If you look at today's Press Democrat, they did a feature story on that. And on this A5, I'm going to quote here, the two mature redwoods can remove about 1,600 tons of carbon from the Earth's atmosphere. Now, I would like to clear up a little thing. And the logging companies always do this too. Oh yeah, it's okay for us to cut down all these trees because we're going to plant all these other trees. It doesn't replace, planting all these little trees doesn't replace it. It takes years and years and years to get mature trees. Decades, and you don't have it. All those photos we looked at are mature trees. So that we're talking about 20 years or maybe 30 years down the line. So what's going to happen at that point? You're going to come in and you say, oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to divide Courthouse Square up. We have to mow down these trees again. It doesn't make any sense. And what we need to do is figure out a plan to do, if we really want the reunification, and a plan to do it without cutting any mature trees or most of the other trees. That's I think, it's a common sense attitude that we should take. In the days of climate change, now maybe before we were ignorant and didn't know about this, it would be different. We know about this now. We have to take better care of what we are to do in the future. Okay?
Stage needs to be in a corner of the plaza so that people who are looking at the performance are not staring into the sun. With a performance stage right on 3rd Street, and I think my friend who's here that knows all about performances can tell you that a stage has to be where people are not facing directly into the sun. So that placement is really off. Number 2, the blocking the main corridor with 2 permanent structures at each end, I think is really not a good idea. Okay, I think there needs to be more curves where it's all 90-degree angles. Everything is 90-degree angles from this, and that's not welcoming. It's a very male architectural mode. I'm sorry, but it is. Women, this is supposed to be Santa Rosa's living room, and I can tell you that women usually decorate the living room. And they don't decorate it with 90-degree angles throughout. They have soft areas, curved walkways. That center area, I don't think should be a lawn at all, because you're going to start walking on a cement pathway and then suddenly meet a lawn. Are you going to walk across it or go around it? Pretty soon, it's going to end up with pathways right through it. So I think the idea of an embedded, something